Hey, it's Katie Moran. Here's your heartfelt lift. Today I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Michele Johnston. I'm a life and empowerment coach. I'm specifically working with women who are on their journey of rediscovery and leading into their midlife awakening. There's no such thing as a crisis. It is an awakening. It is exciting, empowering, and it leads you onto your journey for a more fulfilled and purposeful life. So I'm super excited to be here.
That's so amazing. And I'd love to hear about your journey
Mhm.
from going where you started from to where you are now and how you're helping other
Mhm.
people with that personal journey that you've crystallized in your own realm of existence. I think it's so
Mhm.
beautiful and that it can be something that serves others. So I'd love to hear where you started from.
Sure, absolutely. So we'll go way back. I was raised in a very strict religious ideology of what a perfect wife, mother, and woman should be. And I grew up through my teenage years genuinely feeling like my sole purpose in life was to be a wife and a mother. And that's what I was looking forward to. As most of us do, I went through a bit of a rebellious stage when I was around 18, 19 years old for a couple of years. And in hindsight, looking back, I can see that I actually was stepping into who I authentically was. I was this woman who loved to laugh, have fun, have adventure, and I was genuinely living my best life and making great connections and with wonderful friends and human beings. But around the year 21, I started getting this nagging voice in the back of my head, and all these narratives that I'd been raised with came flooding back. You need to be settling down. You need to be thinking about getting married and starting a family. And so I did. I ended up finding a really nice young man who was very conservative, introverted, and I thought, okay, he's going to be the perfect balance to my crazy that I'm having going on here. And I was married and had the first of my four children at 23. And I dove straight into those roles of wife and mother. I loved my life. And, you know, f- I finally got to put into effect everything that I'd been raised with, all these teachings. And I really, really, really strive for perfection. And that was a big piece, a negative piece that I was carrying with me, that I had to have the perfect family. I had to be the perfect wife. I had to put a perfect facade out to the public people. Like everyone needed to see me having a perfect home. And in the house, it couldn't have been further from the truth. I was striving to be perfect, but of course, kids aren't perfect, marriages aren't perfect. Um, I dropped the ball and I totally lose my shit. I would just melt down. And, you know, I was super self-critical, which led to depression. And I would just have to try and rebuild myself back out, give myself the pep talk and keep moving forward, just keep trying to do better. But the thing is that I had these expectations in my head that were not reachable. And no matter how hard I tried, there's no way I was going to reach these expectations. And, now that I've done the work, I see that the majority of them were expectations that I had placed on myself. No one else did. I was taught all the things and guided in the ways and stuff, but I had these expectations that I had put in my head. And, basically, I was trying to be Martha Stewart on steroids, and it wasn't going to be happening. Um, so I kept in this cycle of perfection, and up until really until my youngest child went off to preschool. And this is became a super pivotal point in my life because what was supposed to be super exciting, I had all this free time. really left me in a place of what do I do? I sent him off to school. My kids were in school. There's only so much house cleaning, laundry you can do before you're forced to sit with yourself in the silence of your home and be like, what now? What do I do with myself? Um, my hobbies were doing kids' crafts, baking for the school bake sale, volunteering in the classroom. I discovered that I had completely lost who Michelle was as I was raising my family and so focused on my family. And not only who I was as an individual, but as many of us mothers and women do, we put our health to the wayside as well. Um, I realized that I had dropped myself to the bottom of the totem pole and I needed to find a way to take care of myself. And it was going to start with learning how to love myself because I had been so critical all these years because I wasn't reaching these expectations. Um, I had to learn how to embrace and love my imperfections. And I came to realize that my imperfections, my shortcomings didn't make me a failure as a mom, a wife, or a woman. They actually were my unique qualities that made me exactly who I am and who I was meant to be. And once I realized that and was able to embrace and all those imperfections, then I could truly start to learn to love myself. And that was the very basic foundation, learning to love and accept myself. And then I was motivated to start taking care of myself. So I started on this journey of self care, which for me was taking back my health. I was pre diabetic and had chronic hypertension. So, movement became a thing. It's like I could certainly drop the kids and go for a 15-minute walk or start planning what I'm putting into my body a little better. And I grew to love exercising and ultimately ended up in a gym, which I personally found super empowering. It became a therapy of sorts. The music like helped me process emotions. The lifting heavy helped me process the stress and everything else I needed to get out. And of course, the endorphins that came along with it. And I found it so empowering to be taking care of myself for the first time in like really my entire life. So I fell in love with the gym and I'm a girl that sets these goals, 0 to 100, like take me there. I decided I was going to do a fitness competition. And so I did it in 6 months. I went through this whole prep phase. I got up on stage. I call it my sister wife to hot wife phase. I went from like frumpy to up on stage in a bling bikini and the hooker heels. And, you know, it was so empowering. And I say it's one of the most liberating experiences in my life, second to giving birth to my children because there I was, and I was so proud of myself. I came home from this competition. I had kept it a secret. So I went on social media and was like, so this happened this weekend. And all of a sudden, I started getting all this attention. Friends, you're so inspiring. How did you do it? Can you help me? I started getting athletic companies wanting me to rep their supplements and all of a sudden getting all this attention, which I've never had in my entire life. And my husband comes out one morning and says, hey, we need to talk. And I'm like, okay, let's talk. And he's like, so you did this competition. I'm super proud of you. You're getting all of this attention. And I just want to know where I stand as your husband. What do you mean? And he's like, well, I'm really, concerned. I don't know what's going on in your DMs. I don't know these people who you're talking with. And it's just, concerning me a bit. I'm still your wife. My body changed, but I'm the same on the inside. And we really tried to work through it. But ultimately, what had been a totally fine, healthy marriage turned into a very controlling and psychologically abusive marriage. And we tried to push through for about 5 years and try and make it work. And it just got to a point where I was forced to make a decision between choosing my happy or going back to a place of stagnation and being content with that old former life I had. And I chose to fight for my happiness. And I loved the marriage. And there's no way I could have done this if I hadn't have continued working on the self-love, working on the self-care, and really discovering that I was worthy of having happiness in my life. I knew I was worth it, and I knew I deserved to be happy. And so I made that decision, and it was the hardest, it was probably the darkest period of my life, but I made it out the other side. And I like to share this piece because, uh, people talk about rediscovery and, the awakening, and it sounds so wonderful and exciting, but with huge life shifts, there's always going to be resistance. And it may be in small ways. You may be losing people from your life, but you're gaining new experiences and new people in your life. So it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's really difficult and it's a growth process. Um, you know, but finding your why and being super clear on your why. Why do you feel such a strong desire for change in your life? Why do you feel like your life doesn't have purpose anymore? Why do you feel like you're not being fulfilled? Getting so determined to find your happy and being clear on your why will carry you through those really, really difficult times. Um, I love saying, share this with all the women I work with, and you'll hear me say it all the time, but um, one of the greatest privileges in life is the opportunity to continuously evolve. And that is what excites me so much every day, knowing that I'm waking up every morning, welcoming new opportunities and experiences and people into my life. And I do get asked all the time, so Michelle, have you found your purpose? You're an empowerment coach and you're, speaking to all these women and you're motivating and empowering. Have you found your purpose? And you know what? I haven't. To say I found my purpose would just be to say that I've stopped evolving, and I sure as heck have not stopped evolving, but I'm definitely on that path to finding my purpose. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here and supporting so many women and speaking with women and motivating and empowering them to really find their happy, find what lights their soul on fire. And it makes each day so worth it. And everyone deserves to feel like they have a purpose in this world. And helping these women, that's what lights my soul on fire.
I love that so much.
Mhm.
If you had one message
Mhm.
that you would love to share with, say, there's someone out there who feels like they want to grow, but they feel a sense of deep loss in that growth, that they'll outgrow where they are now, what would you say to that person?
Strip it down to the very, very, very basic. When you're first learning how to love yourself, take the baby steps. We have such a tendency to set these huge goals, especially in the new year or a birthday, where we set these big goals, but they're not something that's sustainable right away. So find the little things that make you happy and bring the happy into your life every day. It could be lighting that favorite candle at the end of the day so your room is zen. It could be, um, for me, I love the vacuum lines. So if I can vacuum my bedroom so I can be the vacuum lines, like my life is complete. Uh, putting on that favorite lip gloss or spritz at that favorite perfume. If perfume makes you feel like an actual person and not just a walking blob. Chocolate. I have my little secret stash of chocolate in my freezer. after the kids go to bed, at the end of your day, you're settling down, in your bed with your book, whatever, take that little piece of chocolate. So find the little things that bring happy into your life. Don't set such huge goals. Start with the baby steps, and those baby steps will become to grow into bigger steps on this journey to really finding your why, really finding what it's going to create a sustainable, happy, that's worth fighting for in your life.
Thank you so much. I think this
Mhm.
will help a lot of people. Thanks for coming
Mhm.
on today.
Thank you so much for having me.